So Ravi, can you please introduce Mr. Giri?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving a very valuable lecture, and we'll be moving on to the next session, which is an industry connect. And we have Sri DM Naveen Giri, who is a founder and advisor and scientist and his educational details goes on like he is an agricultural scientist. So he has been BSc Agriculture awarded in the year 1996, and he has a very long professional career where he has started with the Department of Agriculture Marketing in Bangalore as a field investigator, moved to a group fertilizer division as an area sales officer. From there, he moved on to the Ratnagiri Impacts Bangalore as a country manager, and Eon Resorts Private Limited Maldives as a landscape park coordinator and designer. From there, he took into the hotel project development Bangalore as an MD and became CEO for hospitality business management in the Bangalore, post which he has started his own, it's like being a founder and advisor and scientist to the ASN Fuels Private Limited Bangalore since August 2020. And till date, he is going on. And he has huge amount of honors received to him, where he has participated in the workshop conducted by UN Development Program, delivered key lectures at IITs and NITs, published various news articles in all the new magazines and everything, and awarded with the corporate leadership excellence and best paper presentations. Along with that, he has published patents in the tube manifold reactor for continuous saccharification process, loop reactor for fermentation, reactive pipeline grid for ethanol. And his professional exposure continues, and his thirst for the research has never stopped. He has been involved in developing more and R&D, evaluating bamboo efficiency for ethanol, evaluating uses of infrared technology in the enzymatic saccharization process. And there are very big list in his research, and he has been actively being involved in the different research projects which have been built up by HPCL Investments and other funding organizations which are focusing on 2G bioethanol pilot plant in Tirupati, and reactive pipeline technologies, add-on reactor technologies, extrusion method for pre-treatment. The list goes on, and it will take huge amount of time, like a keynote for us. So without any further delay, we would like to invite Sri DM Giriji and deliver his experience and expertise on the theme of this workshop. Welcome, sir. And the platform is open.
Am I audible, Ravi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Ravi, for an introduction. I hope the introduction was quite big for a person like me. Of course, IIT Kharagpur is a very old organization, institute, and definitely it has contributed to biofuels and sustainability and renewable fuels in a great way. And I'm trying to do my best within my own capacity. And of course, along with IIT Tirupati here, we have collaborated, and there was a great support from HPCL as well. Yeah. So firstly, I would like to thank Professor Bajeshji for putting up such a big event, and for giving an opportunity to me. And also, I'd like to thank Rajesh Shibar for inviting me, and all the students and research scholars, and also other delegates who are attending this program. Yeah. So shall I share the screen, Mr. Ravi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I would like to introduce my company, ASN Fuels. It's just an R&D based startup. Also, it's an engineering company. We take up turnkey projects. In fact, we are now envisaging for the first commercial order for our technology on production of bioethanol from second generation agricultural sources. Yeah. So ASN Fuels, I conceptualized between 2016, 17, rather 17, 18. And, I traveled across India meeting a lot of researchers involved in biofuels. We visited a couple of labs and pilot plants, and also a lot of research facilities owned by oil companies like IOCL as well. And then formally, I incorporated this company in 2019 along with my partners. And then 2020, I was able to get support from HPCL And then also we collaborated with IIT Tirupati for engineering solutions. In fact, we had this proof of concept in 2018-19, producing bioethanol from agricultural crop residue. It's the white part after taking the seeds that is there, and usually it is thrown away or burned in boilers as fuel. So that was our first venturing into bioethanol production. So that way we had this proof of concept. Then we collaborated with IIT Tirupati, and we were able to bring out the engineering solutions to put this idea into a machine, a reactor. And so a joint research MOU was signed with IIT Tirupati, and we were able to finally produce world's first tankless bioreactor. It's called the tube manifold reactor. It's patented and published also. And then we further went on to produce few more patents on loop reactor for fermentation, and also the active pipeline grid for production of ethanol, helping those sugar factories which doesn't have the biorefineries, so they can pump in their molasses into this particular basic infrastructure that we had designed. And all this molasses can be processed at a centralized hub in a mega distillery, which can be located next to this terminals of the oil companies like HPCL or BPCL or IOCL. So these are the patents and the great work that we did between 2019-20 up to 21-22. And then post these patents, we started now venturing into various feedstocks. Basically, initially, as I told, we concentrated on Concord. Then, we graduated into molasses. Also, we tried in our bioreactor as a part of 1G thing. Then, very particularly, we focused on bagasse. As my previous speakers were mentioning, that bagasse has become one of the prominent feed source for lignocellulosic biomass in bioethanol production today. So we also did that, and we were very successful and got a yield that is a bit higher than our Concord. Yeah, and then we went on to produce ethanol from bamboo as well. So so far in India today, we are the only operational pilot plant which converts bamboo into ethanol, that I can say proudly. And I've not heard of any other pilot plant at a scale, the pilot plant scale, producing ethanol from bamboo. So this is one, a versatile bioreactor that we invented. We got it patented, and the joint applicants being ASN Fuels and IIT Tirupati. So we both are the applicants. Yeah, yeah. So this, with all this introduction, let us come back to the process. How do we do this? And then, since all my previous speakers in this event have spoken elaborately and given a very bright picture and a detailed current status and the future projections on how this can be done, what are the challenges and opportunities. So I really don't want to venture into that, because that's a very big topic. Usually it is my favorite topic, but today I'm supposed to refrain from that, because there has been a very elaborate session from last 3 days, and thanks all the speakers that they have been a part of this great event, and trying to understand the opportunities and the challenges that are there, and it has been discussed in a very elaborate way. Yeah, so I'll come right away to the subject. So here I'm trying to look at decentralization of this biomass valorization, we can call it. That is, we convert agricultural biomass into bioethanol. So what is decentralization? And why do we need it? These are the few questions that I'm going to answer. And then I'll come back to my company, what exactly we have done and what is our stage at a later part of this talk. So looking at this concob, bagasse, and bamboo, you can see on the left side of the screen, these are the so these are the feedstock that we have covered so far, optimized, and the products are ready for commercial plant implementation. We do take up turnkey projects, and we are just in a verge of starting the project in the first commercial plant as well. Yeah. So these three things, usually they are handled individually in our reactor or in any bioreactor and not mixed with. Yeah, usually it is powdered to the extent of around 3 to 5 mm with a hammer mill or a grinding machine, both combined as well for certain feedstocks, which are wet and depending on the structure of the feedstock. And then, we subject that to a pre-treatment. And during pre-treatment, we get a very valuable byproduct for all, wherein this hemicellulose and cellulose, lignin, these are the major components of this biomass. I think all this part of the subject is, I think, very elaborately covered in the previous sessions by, um, um, most of the speakers. And then, so this hemicellulose gets converted to puffball. So this usually is collected with a vacuum facility, and then it is condensed. So that gives a very good, balance sheet figures in terms of a production plan. And then comes the black liquor, that is lignin. Basically, the whole pre-treatment process is focused on delignification. So black liquor contains the lignin, which is supposed to be removed, so that we get the cellulose, which is the main component for further processing to ethanol. So we subject cellulose to saccharification, and then we get that. So before going to that, and then this black liquor, the lignin, we have NaOH, that is caustic soda. In our process, we do use caustic soda. And in some of the process, in some of the biorefineries in India, they are using acid pretreatment as well. So in that case, how do we recover this? Because it is used in a very high concentration, huge quantities used. So we do recover these chemicals, basically the caustic soda. So it can be put back and recycled into pretreatment again. And then we'll come into this each one individually, and then I'll say why that is important. Yeah. So once this lignin liquor is separated from these valuable chemicals, and then there is some remnants of cellulose again, which can be put back into this cellulose tank. So after that, this lignin liquor can also be evaporated and spray dried, and also we can extract lignin as a powder, which is used in various industries like pharma, construction as binding agent, and even road laying, and many other industries has been probed. It can be sold as that. So this is one of the byproducts. Otherwise, it can also be concentrated to 60%, and it can also be used as a boiler fuel in this own industry, because we have this incinerator boilers which use this concentrated lignin itself as a fuel. Of course, it's only to the extent of 70%. The rest of the 30% fuel is charcoal or gas or any other rice husk and all that. So 70% fuel can definitely be replaced with this concentrated lignin. So why I'm talking about in a very detailed way about this byproducts in the very initial stage, because the 2G industry is facing a lot of challenges. Basically, the ERR, the ROI, what is the cost of production? Okay, let's come to the point that, okay, what is the cost that we are going to sell the bioethanol that we are going to produce? It is 65 rupees to 70 rupees based on various sources. As the government has fixed, like if it is produced from molasses C, it has a different rate. If it is produced from molasses B, it is different, and heavy C and heavy B and all that. So it is basically ranging from 65 to 70 rupees as of today. Even we are allowed to produce ethanol from even sugarcane juice directly, and even crystallized sugar. So that is the initiative that has been taken by government of India, because as all the other speakers have reiterated the need of blending ethanol to the fuel, and thereby reducing our import. 85% is imported. That's a big import exchequer to the country. And if at all we can cross this 20% blending targets, which is envisaged by 2025 to 2030, this is the range that we are envisaging to cross it. So that way, that much of burden can be reduced. So now the 1G sources like molasses I was talking about, all these can contribute to achieve 10%. Actually, last couple of months there was a big news that already we have touched that 10% blending. Now, where does the balance 10% come? So as long as we can reach 20% blending, that's a very good figure for bioethanol. And the existing IC engines can take 20% without much of a modification, and the implications on the engine and the mileage. Beyond 25, it has its own thing because ethanol is quite corrosive. There are a lot of rubber and plastic parts, and many other things that happens inside the engine. Of course, now the flexi fuel engines are coming in, and we can take 100% ethanol. So all those things are happening. But anyway, to the next 5 years, we can consider this 20% as one of the big challenge that we got to reach. Yeah. So having told that, 2G and also now just my previous session here, Professor Ramakrishna ji was talking about algae as a source. So all this put together, whether it is lignocellulosic 1G or 2G, all put together, we need a huge quantity of bioethanol. Now, bioethanol from 1G source, definitely it has helped to touch this 10% blending target. Now, when we come to the next 10%, that is reaching 20%, it's quite a big, humongous and Herculean task. So that is where lignocellulosic, that is 2G sources come into the play. And definitely algae, it is a recent research finding that is, going to yield the required bioethanol in aggregation with 2G ethanol. So these two major factors is really going to take the Indian fuel landscape into a different arena. Once we cross 20%, the sky is the limit. And by the time we achieve these targets in the next couple of years, maybe 3-4 years or 5 years, definitely flexible fuel engines will be in the market, and we get a scope of developing more ethanol once these technologies are proven and commercial production starts, so that this flexi fuel engine can be fed with 100% ethanol. So that's the dream. And definitely by 2030, all these things, all the speakers and all the students and the delegates who are attending this, if at all we meet again, we're going to discuss that. Yes, we discussed on this aspect, and 5 to 6 years, 8 years down the line, things are happening. Yeah. So having said that, now we have just covered up the basic concept of where this to in brief I tried to cover, though my predecessors in this event has done the elaborate presentations. Yeah. Now, because this biomass is so